Hey, Yins. Y'all know CityCast covers a lot of local and lately even national politics. The candidate visits alone have been so intense. So if you need a small break from the real races, consider a new show from City Theater. It has a tongue-in-cheek name, I am quoting here. POTUS, or Behind Every Great Dumbass, are 7 women trying to keep him alive. It's running September 21st through October 13th, and they say it is perfect for fans of Saturday Night Live or Veep. Get your tickets at citytheatercompany.org and use code CityCast for $5 off your order.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, spotted lanternflies are appearing around the city again, but they're not just pests, they might actually be giving us a new flavor of honey. And if you're not convinced, we're talking about other local honey makers that we love. Plus, it's Negroni week, and we've got lots of new restaurant openings around the city, including a diner with boozy milkshakes and pinball machines. It's Thursday, September 19th. I'm Sophia Lowe, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with Hey Pittsburgh newsletter editor Francesca DeBecco. Welcome back on the pod. It has been so long, and I am so excited to chat food with you.
Hey, Sophia. It is so good to be back with you, back on the mic,
Woo-hoo!
And yapping about our favorite thing.
But before we dig into the food news, Francesca, tell us about the new perk that CityCast Pittsburgh members are getting this week.
Yes. So if you like all of our recommendations for things to do on the podcast, you're really going to dig this. From now on, I will send an email to CityCast Pittsburgh members every Monday with a full week of events. So Monday through Sunday. And yins know that I don't skimp.
You really don't. I get so much of my weekend events from you. I'm looking at this week's Send Now. You've also got Pittsburgh's Jazz Fest, an outdoor movie night, a clothing swap, a Latin American festival, so much stuff.
Yeah, it's a good array of things. So there's something for everyone. And if you don't want to miss out on all the fun stuff going on around town, it's a good time to become a CityCast Pittsburgh member. We'll have a link in the show notes, or you can go to membership.citycast.fm/Pittsburgh.
Yes. And now on to the food. To kick us off, what is the best thing you've eaten this week?
Okay, so mine is a little different. Sorry you can't go and get this one, but
No.
I'm going to say a sun gold tomato from my very best friend's garden. She and her husband actually won 3rd place in the best tomato in the city contest at the Pittsburgh County Fair this past weekend. And they got 1st place last year. So it's so bright and juicy and bursting with flavor.
That's incredible. I am very jealous. Locally grown tomatoes are the best.
Yeah, we got to enjoy it while the season is still here. But if you aren't familiar, the Pittsburgh County Fair, it isn't like Ferris wheels and fried foods. It's this new annual event in Allegheny Commons Park celebrating like growers, harvest season. There's a ton of samples and demos. They had like sorghum pressing, grape stomping, lots of fun stuff.
Grape stomping for like anyone, or is it like a designated person doing it?
No, like the public can participate. Yeah.
Oh man, I will definitely have to go next year. That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you, Sophia? What have you had good this week?
I might have a new go-to pizza place.
Oh.
I feel like a lot of the spots I usually go to have sort of specialty pizza. Like, you know, I go to Badamo's for Sicilian slices, Driftwood Oven does sourdough stuff. But I've been ordering a lot recently from Pizarro's. It's in Lawrenceville. The pizza's really solid, good wings, amazing breadsticks. They are so chewy, just the perfect texture. I think it's a really great spot for takeout and if you want to feed a crowd, because they just have so many options. Or you can meal prep, in quotation marks. I bought 2 one-topping pizzas for $30 and like, basically meal prepping, right?
I love that. I really take your pizza recommendations seriously because I know you have good taste and I haven't been here, so it's worth a try. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
So, Sophia, let's rewind a little bit. A few weeks ago on the show and in the Hey Pittsburgh newsletter, we talked about how people in Pennsylvania will be able to buy canned cocktails at grocery stores and gas stations now, thanks to this new law passed in the PA legislature.
Yes, hooray for not needing to make a separate stop at a fine wine. Love it.
That is something to celebrate. The sales have actually started in grocery stores now as of this Monday, but not everyone has been able to get their hands on a can. Friend of the pod, Stephen Caruso, tweeted that Governor Josh Shapiro tried to celebrate by picking up a Surfside vodka and lemonade from a convenience store near Harrisburg, but he forgot his ID and got turned away.
No. Now I'm imagining him like in the parking lot, like slipping someone a 20, being like, please, can you get this lemonade for me?
I just think it's funny, like, that they stuck, to the law.
He's got to follow the rules like everyone else.
Yep, he has to. Yep, exactly. So,
Remember your IDs.
Yeah, go and see if you can find some in your local grocery.
Yeah, and on another note, while we're talking cocktails, it's Negroni week. This kicked off September 16th, runs until the 22nd. So Imbibe Magazine started this event in 2013, and restaurants all over serve Negronis, and some of the money goes to a charitable org. This year's is slow food, so they're focused on lots of things in the food world, like sustainable growing, fair wages, biological diversity, all kinds of stuff.
That's really cool. I had no idea that this actually benefited some really great organizations. I just thought it was a cult following drink. People love their Negronis. So how can people join in on the Negroni Week fun here in Pittsburgh?
A lot of local businesses are running specials like Fathead Saloon, Burgatory, and Lawrence Hall has a pretty long list of Negronis. Plus, they also have a non-alcoholic option, so you can get in on the fun even if you don't drink alcohol, or if you're just like me and don't like Campari. I do not get this Negroni obsession, but I'm glad everyone has this week to celebrate. Francesca, any food celebration stuff that you're looking forward to?
I'm the same, Sophia. I don't really get the Campari Negroni thing either, but I do enjoy local honey. September is National Honey Month, so it's a good excuse to celebrate the bees and talk about our favorites.
And where to buy this local honey. Do you have a go-to spot? I feel like you have a go-to spot for everything.
I try, but I really like to try a variety. I think that's what's special about local honey. It changes depending on the flora and fauna where it's harvested. But my last bottle of local honey in my pantry was from Bedallion Honey Farm. That's out in Hickory, PA. My favorite was using the hot honey in salad dressings.
Smart.
Yes, it's the perfect amount of like sweet and spicy. Just combine that with some like apple cider vinegar, a little bit of oil, some salt, pepper, all that good stuff. And you can find this one at PenMac in the Strip. I've spotted it at the Mayfly Market on the north side and the East End Food Co-op in Point Breeze.
PenMac has such a great selection of honeys and also fun jams, mustards, all kinds of sweet and savory spreads. Right now, my local honey is from Freedom Farms, but another spot I've been meaning to check out is Pittsburgh Honey. It's a family-owned farm and business. The website says that their whole operation started out in the Fine family's backyard with just 6 hives, and now they've got nearly 200 of them.
Oh my goodness. I haven't had this either. I'd love to try, but I'm assuming it's not still in their backyard. I'm pretty sure we've got rules around how many hives you can have.
Probably. I don't know what the cap is on hives, but certainly not just in their backyard anymore. Their hives are all over Monongahela and southwestern Pennsylvania. I still hope they have a couple in their backyard, though. So they've got a storefront in Squirrel Hill, and Pittsburgh Honey also does bee removal.
Oh.
So if you have a bunch of bees who decided to make, a tree in your backyard their home, you can give them a call and they'll do their best to save those bees and get them out of your space.
That's really great because we don't want to hurt the bees. And this, is a great resource for folks if they end up in this tricky situation.
Absolutely.
Something I'm looking forward to is this place called Connector coming to Millvale. They got delayed a little bit because of the pandemic, but it'll be a cafe and teaching kitchen focused on what they call a flora to table education.
Ooh, I've never heard that. Like, what exactly does that mean? Like, what can we learn there?
Well, I think it's definitely a lot about the role that pollinators play in our local food systems. And it'll be like interspersed with like trying different foods with the local honey. I actually met the owner, Christina Joy Newman, at the Pittsburgh County Fair this past weekend. And we got to talking about how invasive species can affect local honey. I thought this was so interesting.
Don't give me bad news. Are they hurting our bees? Does that mean we won't have honey?
No, this isn't necessarily a bad thing either. It's just something to be aware of. So we were talking about the spotted lanternfly, which everyone knows about. So it excretes this sugary substance. They call it like honeydew, that the bees actually treat like pollen, and they use that to make honey. So it makes the product have this more smoky odor and sort of malty flavor. Really interesting.
Ooh, I really hope we get that in Pittsburgh and that Co-Nectar brings this stuff here because I've been wanting to try this. I saw like a shop in Philly selling it, but just haven't been able to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I bet there's some locals selling it, after we've had the influx of spotted lanternflies over the past couple years. But similarly, another invasive is Japanese knotweed. That makes a darker flavor too, a more rich and nutty sort of tone to the honey. And Sophia, I get pissed off every year battling the knotweed in my backyard.
I can imagine. That stuff grows so quick.
Yeah, it's awful. But it's actually a huge food source for the bees in the late summer and fall. So that makes me feel at least a little bit better that the bees are benefiting.
Yeah, you can put off getting rid of the knotweed until like winter. Maybe it'll die off on its own.
Oh, I can hope.
This episode is brought to you by Batiste Dry Shampoo. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or getting ready for a night out, Batiste has a dry shampoo for you. Refresh with over 10 signature fragrances. Or try Batiste Hint of Color, a tinted dry shampoo that seamlessly blends with your hair. Need an extra boost? Try Batiste Dry Shampoo with added benefits like volumizing, texturizing, and more. Buy Batiste now, in-store or online at your nearest retailer.
Let's talk some restaurant openings now. I want to kick it off with coffee. No surprise there.
Yes, but first coffee.
Exactly. Delaney's Coffee in the South Side has a new location over in Shady Side now. They just opened last week. It's where the Otta used to be, and I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite coffee shops in the city, and now much more accessible to me, at least with public transit and walking.
That's awesome. Delaney's is the best. I will love a trip to their new location. I have my eyes on their new honey oat vanilla latte. That sounds so good. Have you been to this new one yet? We should go. If not,
I would love to go together. I haven't made it either. It opened on Friday the 13th, but I'm hoping to go soon since one of their summer specials was a popcorn latte.
Oh,
I don't know if it's available at the Shady Side location or maybe they're currently switching over to fall specials, but it sounds so funky. I'm really interested to see what that tastes like.
yeah. You like to try all the interesting flavors. I'm definitely curious. It's got to be like a toasty, maybe buttery flavor. That sounds really interesting. Anyway, you get that one and I'll try a sip.
Yes, we'll trade.
And I also saw that the Trip reported that the owners are looking for local artists to put up some work in their store. They've always been really great about supporting local artists. So if that sounds like you, maybe you should think about reaching out.
I really like how so many coffee shops here are keeping it in the burg with local artists. It also just makes each space feel so much more distinct.
I agree. It's really nice to kind of go into a little art gallery when you're sipping your coffee. Well, we'll keep it on the East End with another new restaurant. Main Street Diner in Lawrenceville opened in the basement of the Market House on Butler Street. And it actually has a sort of Beetlejuice theme.
Good timing.
Yeah, really. It would make a fun date night if you go see the movie. And they have burgers and sandwiches. Plus, Sophia, I know this is up your alley, milkshakes, both regular ones and boozy ones.
I love milkshakes. You know me so well. I am peeking at the menu right now. For like, kid-friendly option, the chocolate pumpkin sounds really good. But for adult milkshakes, I am thinking vanilla lavender gin.
Oh, interesting. I love lavender.
Don't they also have pinball there? I know there was like a pinball cafe also on Butler Street, Kickback, but I saw a sign a while ago saying they were moving to Market House.
Yeah. The diner also has pinball from Kickback. So I think that's also a fun retro vibe. They're only open for dinner though. So Main Street Diner's hours are 3:30 to 10:30 p.m. And they're closed on Mondays.
So late-ish dinner option. We don't have a ton of those in Pittsburgh, so nice to see something open up past 9. Or I think it'd be fun to, grab a milkshake post-movie at Row House.
Yeah, and it's owned by the same owners as Row House, by the way. So
okay, perfect. They know what's up.
They know what they're doing. Yeah. But also, speaking of more treats, I recently had a red bean bun from the new Paris Baguette in the Block Northway. That's right next to the Nordstrom Rack up there in Ross. And it was so tasty. I love getting them from the Asian food store on McKnight Road, but these were so much more fresh and fluffy. So it's a fun new opening up there.
I bet. Yeah, Paris Baguette is a Korean chain, and there's actually another one that's supposed to be coming to Shady Side too.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It reminds me a lot of the Tous les Jours in East Liberty. And for folks who are balking at the idea of red beans in a pastry, just try it. Trust me, it's really, really good.
It is double tap. They're delicious, and it's still a sweet dessert.
Yes.
And then one more quick opening, Panaderia Jasmine in Mount Lebo's up and running in their new location. It was just a couple doors down from where they used to be, so they're still on Beverly Road.
Yeah, we've been waiting. Their old spot was really tiny, but I remember their concha pastry, and it was so tasty. You recommended them in our Best Bakeries episode, which we'll link in the show notes. If you haven't listened, go back and do that. But do we know if anything new is coming with the move to their new location?
Full sit-down restaurant, so a pretty big change, just because I'm sure they have so much more space now. So they're still going to have a self-serve bakery section, but lots of room to, actually sit down and have a meal. So some of their breakfast, brunch-type options sound really yummy. I went through their Facebook earlier. I saw, like, a poblano omelet and concha toast. So, like, they'll use conchas instead of brioche. For French toast. I think you would like that.
Yes.
And then also they've got birria tacos, and I can never get enough of those either.
Ugh, looks like I need to cross a river.
I think so.
Oh man, this sounds so great. Let's turn it to the other side. Let's talk about some closings.
Yeah, a little bit of some sadder news. Womp womp. So Smoke in Lawrenceville had its last day earlier this week. So it was a barbecue/taco place. They had fillings like burnt ends and briskets, and some of their tacos had barbecue sauce. It's been in Lawrenceville since 2016, but first opened up in Homestead in 2011. Francesca, have you been? I know, like, you're vegetarian. I don't know if you would have swung by.
Yeah, I actually have been a long, long time ago, back before I was a vegetarian.
Oh.
I do remember their mac and cheese, though. I'm pretty sure it had those burnt ends in it, like you said.
I honestly did not realize there was a time you ate meat. I feel like you're always repping the veggie options.
I've been established for almost a decade now. So yeah, that's valid. But yeah, so long to Smoke.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of people were pretty sad to see Smoke go. They posted like a goodbye image on their Instagram, and lots of people made references to how good their pickles were. The Trib reported that all of their condiments and syrups for sodas were made in-house, and I always love a fun syrup, so RIP. Are there any other restaurant closings that you're thinking about?
Yeah, I saw that Joe's Crab Shack in Station Square shut down recently too. Not to be rude, but my first reaction was there's still Joe's Crab Shack. Although looking at the reporting, it seemed really sudden. There was a sign that went up on the door saying that they were closing, and they thanked customers for coming. So it was just kind of a quick thing that happened.
Huh. And I know Buca de Beppo in Station Square also closed earlier. We talked about that on a previous food show.
Yeah, I saw a WPXI article about Joe's Crab Shack closing, and they said that some business owners are a little worried about losing customers because of, it closing down because it brought a lot of people there. So we'll wait and see what's coming next to Station Square.
Yeah, that makes sense just because, there are fewer places for people to eat when you're going to like Highmark Stadium. Or I know some people like to park in Station Square or that area, hang out a little bit before going downtown. So definitely a loss for a lot of people. But let's end with some ways that folks can plug into the local food scene this weekend. Anything you want to shout out?
Yes. So the Bloomfield Farmers Market is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. So besides the weekly market going on, there's a couple of extra events that you should check out. They're doing a market mingle on Saturday. That's from 5 to 7 p.m. And then there's an after party from 7 to 9 p.m. So there's going to be food, workshops, raffles, a lot of good stuff. And you can buy tickets on the Bloomfield Development Corporation's website. I think they start at $30, but then there's add-ons for like premium ticket and after party stuff.
I think the idea of like a farmer's market after party is so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Let's do it every time.
And then on Sunday, there is going to be a fall bakery crawl in New Kensington. And what is not to love with a bunch of sweet treats in one place?
Yes.
There will also be savory options if sweet treats are not your thing or you need a little bit of both. So the businesses that are getting involved are Bitchy Vegan Homo, Sweet Alchemy Bake Shop, and Yumzio Bistro. I think this is also nice because you can try a bunch of things, maybe get something old, something new. Like the only place I've been to out of these is Bitchy Vegan Homo. My favorite thing is the oatmeal cream pie, so I think everyone should look out for that and try something new.
That sounds delicious. I also love that these are all plant-based, so great for our, vegan listeners. I really got to make it out to New Ken. I've been promoting this fall bakery crawl every year, and I've yet to make it out. So
this is the year. Do it.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So if you're looking for more fall foodie events, you can actually visit my massive list of Oktoberfest and community garden celebrations, farm festivals happening throughout the season. We'll link it in the show notes, and it's on our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. Reminder that we have a new membership perk. Francesca's sending an email to CityCast Pittsburgh members every Monday with a full week of events. If you want to sign up and learn more, you can check out membership.citycast.fm/Pittsburgh. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you then.
No, I couldn't tell if you were like saying I did something wrong. Sorry. Okay.
You're perfect. You do nothing wrong.